Are you ready to find out how the virtual assistant role has changed in the last couple of years that I've been in it, especially in the age of AI while I'm on a train here in Japan? So I have been in the virtual assistant space for about 6 years now. I started my virtual assistant agency to Hexu back in 2019, and I've seen so many things change basically on what clients expect from virtual assistants before and where they're at now, especially as AI becomes more and more sophisticated and they're looking for ways to have their assistant be fully their person. Now, the first change that I've seen a lot is they've shifted from having someone who's more of their yes person to having an assistant, executive assistant, who will basically be more proactive in finding solutions before being tasked. So instead of being a virtual assistant who's like, oh, do you have any tasks for me? Is there anything that else I can do for you today? You're starting to look at patterns. You're trying to see essentially what are the things that are going on in their business, and based on your client's goal, how you can help them get there better or faster or in a systematized way, whatever that looks like it means for your client. You've basically shifted from someone who just gets a lot of tasks done to now being the person who makes sure that they are already done, and you're focused on essentially more of the bigger picture within your client's business, which basically brings me to my next point of you essentially switch from the person who gets a lot of tasks done to managing outcomes. And basically you're switching from being a person who is just checking emails or managing emails. You're now getting to the point where you are focus on the outcome. So the outcome could be that you are someone who makes sure that your client doesn't miss opportunities. It's making sure that your client is able to connect with the right people. It's making sure that if your client is on a break, they're vacationing, they're traveling, or they're focused on growing their business, they don't miss things behind the scenes as they're going through a lot of different phases or building up the business. You're managing the outcome of their communications. You're making sure, again, that you're either managing opportunities as they arrive in your client's inbox. You are following up on people who need to be followed up. You're helping them build connections that they need to be building to be able to get to that goal. And again, it starts from being aware of what your client's goals are and where the company is currently at, and seeing what are the different ways that you can close the gap from where they are and where they want to be, and basically getting them to that point is one of the ways that a lot of clients are starting to think when it comes to having their executive assistant. A term I've been hearing a lot is basically having their virtual assistant be kind of more of a strategic partner within their business, where it's not just, again, just ticking off tasks within the business, but it's also managing the outcomes, the goals, where they want to be in their business, and their assistant basically helps them get there, basically the executor of a lot of their own ideas. Next is from doing just more of the manual work. A lot of virtual assistants or a lot of clients are expecting virtual assistants to leaning more into tools and automations to make their tasks a little bit easier, and also to make their workload a little bit lighter as well. So this could be learning tools like ChatGPT or Make.com, or learning tools like NAN, where you're creating automations and maybe mini apps for your client. But instead of you doing a lot of the work step by step through every single tool, you're utilizing AI, you're utilizing a lot of the amazing tools that are out there today to be able to switch yourself from being just someone who's doing a lot of the manual work to now using AI. It's partly why I created my community AI for virtual assistants, or AVA, and created my ChatGPT for virtual assistant course, is to walk you through what that looks like in your day-to-day, to fully being someone who owns a task, to utilizing AI as kind of a sidekick or superpower, or basically creating an assistant for the virtual assistant, and how to be able to do that. So if you guys want to join the community or grab the course, it's all going to be in the link below. Essentially, a lot of clients are expecting more and more of their virtual assistants to become more AI fluent or AI literate, of being the person essentially who understands how to use AI, how to prompt AI, how to use AI in the best way. So then for the client, they can be confident that they're also adapting and being flexible as AI shifts and changes as well. The next shift is a lot of clients are expecting from having more general virtual assistants where they're taking care of everything else of the business, to finding more specialized, niche, or skilled virtual assistants. Essentially what that means and what that could be for you is, instead of being more of a general admin virtual assistant, is you're more specialized on either the niche that your client is in, or with a skill that your client needs. So instead of just being, again, I'm a virtual assistant, you're more of a virtual assistant mostly for coaches and consultants. I'm a virtual assistant for real estate people. I'm a virtual assistant for AI people or for crypto people, whatever that is. More and more clients are looking for virtual assistants who are more specialized in the niche that they're in, or again, on the flip side, being specialized on a skill. So you're a social media virtual assistant, you're a bookkeeper virtual assistant, you're a virtual assistant who specializes in GHL or in marketing funnels. Basically, it's finding more skill-based that you can dive into a little bit more as a virtual assistant. So as your client is looking for this kind of virtual assistant, you can be essentially the answer or the solution to who it is that they're looking for. You have the skill or the niche that they are in, or the skill that they're looking to hire. Another shift that I've seen is they're looking less for virtual assistants who is really just getting a lot of just the work done, to more virtual assistants who can also help them build systems. Now, when you're a business owner, a lot of the ways that you can scale and grow your business is through systems, is when you can step away from a process or a responsibility from the business because it is documented. There's assets, there's templates, there's basically a way for someone else to do the same work. Now, as a virtual assistant, this is one of the ways that you can specialize yourself, as you are someone who knows how to create standard procedures. You've essentially become someone who could create assets and templates and basically ways for the business to keep going, even when your client or that person who manages that usually isn't there. It's one of those invaluable skills that whatever kind of specialization you go into, whether it's your niche or a skill, you've built up how to systematize, so then your client or the person who manages that can step away and do other things to grow the business. And of course, if you can do all of that, especially with adding AI into the mix, even better. And finally, one of the biggest shifts that I've seen over and over again is that instead of being someone who is just a virtual assistant, you eventually grow into becoming their executive assistant, into either their chief of staff or managing their operations. And I've seen this over and over again, where a lot of clients, because their assistant has been in their business for a while, they know how certain outcomes happen, they know how to manage certain things as if it were the client doing it, because the assistant has learned how to do it from the client, that their assistant essentially, again, becomes that head of operations, becomes that chief of staff, essentially becomes that strategic partner within their business, so then they can do more of just growing and evolving the business rather than just running and, making sure that the business is still there as they're doing different things in the space of being an entrepreneur, or maybe starting a new business or adding more to the business, whatever that looks like. They have an executive assistant or a virtual assistant who supports them throughout that whole process. And if that is the path you want to go into, make sure to hit the like button right there so I know to create more of this kind of content. Comment below any questions you might have when it comes to being a different kind or a next level virtual assistant. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any videos every Sunday on how to grow as a virtual assistant, especially with AI. And if you are a business owner yourself, or you want to be a business owner with AI, check out my second channel here and check out the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an amazing and fantastic day. And with that, small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.